Ladies and gentlemen, and all distinguished guests, good morning. Dimacharoli, Absheni, Tobela, Khoyamora, Sanibonani, Molweni, Dumelang, Lochani. We would like to welcome you to the Sasseta 2024 Annual General Meeting, taking place via a hybrid platform from the wonderful and beautiful city of Polokwane in Limpopo Province. My name is Tebogo Maphala, and I have the wonderful honor of being your program director today. I would like to acknowledge members of the Sasseta board, the Sasseta executives and management team, the Sasseta staff, who are the engine of this wonderful entity, and they are mostly attending this meeting virtually. There were representatives from the Department of Higher Education and Training, representatives from the Sasseta chambers, policing, defense, corrections, justice, legal, private security, and state security, all stakeholders that are attending this AGM in person and all those that are attending virtually, and all protocol observed. Few housekeeping rules as we start. We are all requested to kindly keep our cell phones on silent, and the restrooms are at the back of the hall. There's a door just before you exit the hall. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to kindly stand as we allow the band to lead us in singing the South African national anthem. Can we kindly stand?
South Africa, South Africa. Hey, the profane non se yemen, and the deep defano sie. Dans seven rebetes, fatigance en votre sans se compte to come together and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Thank you, band. Ladies and gentlemen, you may take your seats. At this moment, I would like to call upon our acting Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Vukani Memela, to kindly come upon the stage and introduce the Sasseta acting chairperson of the board. Mr. Memela, we can appreciate him.
No, thank you, Program Director. Thank you so much. Allow me to stand on the established protocol and say good morning to everyone. Must I also pass a very good morning to the members of the board, the interim chair, Mr. Eric Chilambavuna, we acknowledge you board members. Must I also acknowledge our special guest, the former chairperson, Mr. Chris Ndau. We acknowledge you, sir. Thank you so much. On our platform, colleagues, good morning. We acknowledge you as well. Thank you for joining the procession. Program Director, my task at this stage is quite simple, is to introduce the chair of the board. So, Mr. Eric Chilambavunwa. The chair of the board is a full-time employee for the state security. He is the head of counterintelligence in the state security. He was our previous board member. He holds this following qualification. We have a chair that is quite loaded in terms of education. He holds a master's degree in business admin. He further holds a master's degree in security studies. He also holds a degree in public management. He holds an honors degree in public management, a postgraduate in security studies, a postgraduate in legal and compliance. He is a former council advisor from the CIRA, those who know CIRA. He is also very active in that space. Chair, may I call you upon to ascend on the podium? Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. And this is quite a very good setup, and I can see people have dressed to kill. But let me give an acknowledgement to my former chairperson, Mr. Chris Ndau, and also the chairperson of our ARC, Mr. Faisal Doctor. I'm not sure whether you were standing, Mr. Ndau, when CE was introducing you. Can I request that the two of you stand where you are? My acknowledgement also goes to the other board members who are joining us online, the former board members, and the board members that we are currently serving, that I will introduce them later. My sincere acknowledgement to the executive management of the Sasseta under the tutelage of the current acting CE, Mr. Vukani Memela, and the entire team, the CFO, Mr. Diale, the executive manager, Ms. Juera Amot, and the acting executive manager, Mel Ragapol. We are gathered here, colleagues, in what we call an annual general meeting. The business of the day of the AGM is for a SETA to give a full report in the existence of the performance through the whole year. But this doesn't mean that everything went well or everything program director was hunky-dory. We had challenges, but this mountain, we ride the mountain with you as stakeholders, key components of the function of the SETA. Now this journey, we need to enhance the way we en route it together. Colleagues, stakeholders, chamber members, employers, labor, there's no way the SETA can function better without your involvement. Now I beseech you to play a critical role and an improved critical role to ensure that our relation from the SETA side to a stakeholder side improve. And maybe the question, CE, will be, how do we improve it? CFO. We improve it through the channels of liaison and communication. We improve it through you telling us how to improve the way we do business. In Venda, we say, Mudengwa di Denguri, which means I cannot check myself and heal myself as a traditional healer. Now, what I'm trying to bring home is that you need to play a role in trying to enlighten us to do better as a stakeholder. Do not wait for us to come or during granting so that you tell us what to do and what not to do. You need to be there all the time so that we carry each other. Now, why I'm saying this? I want us to improve in checklisting CE to say, let us not have a red pen program director. You always wait for one mistake of the SETA you tick. Unless if there's a SETA that is perfect in the whole of South Africa. We are not perfect. But I'm inviting you guys to say to us, you can improve here and here and here. And we've got a very capable executive management and the team, the whole team of Sasseta, very capable by cadres. Now, colleagues, my invite to you is that we should not only see an AGM as where we meet. We should use other platforms beside the AGM to coherently move this Titanic together before it hits the iceberg. Because when Sasseta hits the iceberg, please take note, stakeholders suffer. Sasseta is not only driven by the chairperson and the CE and the CFO and the executive managers, it's driven because they are stakeholders. And let me say this quite blatantly. Stakeholders should get assistance, be it financially CFO, from Sasseta. CE, I'm making this deliberately so that they know that they exist through the function of the SETA, and SETA exists through the functioning of the stakeholders. Now, between the two, who's fooling who? Does Sasseta need stakeholders? Yes. Does stakeholders need Sasseta? Yes. Now, this is a mutual combination. It's an ecosystem that we should not only build it through AGM. No. We should build a moving engine that caters the needs of all of us. We should ensure that stakeholders are benefiting from the SETAs. We should ensure that the SETA is benefiting from stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, the scope of the SETAs are changing drastically in terms of the setup of the country. In the safety and security industry these days, you no longer talk of physical security only. There are so many things that are happening. Your drones, your ICT, your geospace, your geospatial security. These things collaboratively, we need to carry them together. Our country is under siege in terms of the security, infiltration, invasion from unwanted sources. Now, if we don't collaborate and become the foot soldiers in terms of the performance of the SETA and the security on the ground, we are all going to fall. Rest assured. This is not the responsibility only of the SETA to ensure that. It's also the responsibility of stakeholders to ensure that the capabilities and the skills for the industry gets improved. Gone are the days where you categorize security based on the physical ability of a human being. Technology has taken over. Now, it means even the training, colleagues, of our members must align to the emergency of these encounters. We are heading through a turmoil time of the revolutionization of security industry. Don't be left behind. We should not play a catch-up game. Let's play a moving game. Because catch-up sometimes we might leave you behind. Let's improve our communication as the SETA and the stakeholders, and let's ensure that our channels of communication are well opened. If you go to Sasseta and Waterfall, you will see that the channels of communication are well opened. We are there to serve. Let me be honest. You don't serve us, we serve you. Stakeholders, SETA serves them. We serve you. But in that relationship, there's no an abusive relationship. It's an ecosystem. But the bottom line is that the governance procedures allows us to serve you. Now, allow us to serve you better. Allow us to improve this communication so that we move the boat together. The stakeholders' role is to advise the SETA to do better. And we invite you to do that. We invite you to say, come and tell us where we are doing wrong, and also come and tell us where we're doing good so that we improve. Do not only have the red mark to checklist the wrongdoings, also have the green mark to checklist the right doings, so that together we improve and together we move forward. My last point in terms of this gossip intelligence that I just raised now is that the AGM should not be a yardstick for our communication and also to complain or to send anything. Let's use the whole 12 months to improve communication and collaboration. I hope I'm making sense on that. My call for close relationship between the stakeholder and Sasseta, it's unmatched. Let us all go out there and open our minds so that the SETA does well, and SETA will open minds so that all stakeholders does well. Let me take this opportunity to introduce to you the current board of this vehicle called Sasseta. I was looking at Chris, I don't see him here, but we've got Mr. Chris Lopsha from Organized Labor. Those who are present here, I will invite them to come in front so that you can match the face with the name. Mr. Bulela Saliwa is attending online, I think. Am I right? See, he's attending online. Yeah. Lieutenant General Malungisa Sichongai, I was informed that he's attending online. Ms. Batsiba Ditebo Romaditlaba, please come to the front from Organized Labor. Mr. Vusi, Organized Employer, sorry. Mr. Vusi Zwelihle Nchangase, Organized Labor. Mr. Muntu Katlego Sebuku, Organized Labor. Ms. Zandile Pakati, Organized Labor. Ms. Felicia Mashweni, Professional Bodies. Ms. Kuti Tondlana, Community Organization. I think for now those are the ones that have attended. Let me take this opportunity to call Ms. Faisal Doctrat, who is the chairperson of the ACT, to also come in front. Colleagues, these are your leadership in the board of Sasseta. Let's give them the round of applause, please. In absentia also, Mr. Jono Singh is not here, he's a member of the board. These are the colleagues together with the executive management of SETA are riding in the same ship, the same boat, but to the right direction. Let's give them the round of applause again, please, as they... Colleagues, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Program Director, my job was so easy. And that comes to the end of my tautology. And I hope colleagues are going to enjoy the AGM. And God bless us all. God bless South Africa. And God bless this beautiful province of Limpopo. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Chairperson, for that stern tone. And as we have said, this is a happy moment. After all that, we need to ululate Limpopo. We are known to be people of peace, people of happiness. Let us engage and be happy, right? Limpopians, are you here? Yes. Can we have energy of happiness? Energy of ululation? Please, let's keep that momentum going. At this point, I'm going to call upon our acting CEO, Mr. Memela, once more, to take us through the overview of the Sasseta performance. And as he's still making his way to the stage, our programs are currently indicating that after each presentation, we will be taking questions and answers, but in the interest of time, we are only going to engage on the Q&A after all the presentations are done. And for those that are attending virtually, you are encouraged to please put your comments and your questions on the chat box. Again, please, ululations, whistles, and a happy environment. CEO?
Thanks, Debs. A happy environment indeed, because we are here to celebrate and account to you stakeholders. So I thought the chair of ACWA saying we mustn't be serious. Yeah, indeed we shouldn't. I'm back on stage. Good morning once more to our guests, stakeholders, friends, and family who are here. We are delighted to be with you today as we table our 2024-25 financial year annual report. I'm standing here with great honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I present the organizational overview at this AGM. The past year has been an exceptional achievement underscored by disciplined execution and sound governance and unwavering commitment to our strategic mandate. I am pleased, members of the board and the chairperson, that today we report that the organization has successfully achieved 100% of its performance targets set for the financial year. These accomplishments reflect the strength of our strategic planning, the precision of our operational execution, and dedication of our workforce. May I get a clap of hands? Thank you. Equally significantly, Chair, we had secured a clean audit opinion which affirm our integrity of our financial management and robustness of our internal controls and adherence to the high standard of accountability and openness. This outcome is a clear endorsement of our governance framework and reinforces the confidence of our stakeholders in the organization's ability to meet its obligations. All our goals outlined in our annual plan were met in full, demonstrating alignment between vision and our execution. We had maintained optimal efficiency across all divisions, ensuring sustainable resource allocation and utilization and consistent service delivery. Revenue and expenditure were managed with precision, resulting in a strong financial position, reinforcing our long-term sustainability as an institution. The clean audit outcome validates our commitment to our ethical conduct, honesty, openness, and sound governance practice. Our strategic partners have expanded our reach, strengthened our impact, enhance our ability to deliver the value to our clients and our stakeholders. We truly appreciate your collaboration and your patience. Our workforce remain a cornerstone of our success in every aspect of our operations. May we get a clap of hands as well. Without our workforce, we will not achieve what we are achieving as a SETA. I must say that this is not a first clean audit. We've been getting clean audits for the past 5 years. Indeed, we have been achieving at an average of 97% for the past 5 years. This is as a result of the hard work of the team that is in Sasseta, but of course in collaboration with our strategic partners and our stakeholders. We truly appreciate your effort, your understanding. This journey, sometimes it doesn't get easy, but with your support, you've made it possible. As we look ahead, Chairperson and members, while we celebrate this achievement, we recognize that excellence is a continuous process and journey. Our focus as we look ahead, we will broaden our footprint to diversify and strengthen our impact. We will invest in innovation and digital transformation and data-driven solution to enhance our application and speed and our agility on our processes. The chair spoke about communication. We are continuously re-evaluating and assessing our business model so that our business model is fit for purpose, it alive to the issues of the day. So we'll continue to reassess that so that we remain relevant and we truly advance and deliver on our mandate. We will strengthen and deepen engagement with our stakeholders to ensure a shared success and long-term trust. Chair, indeed, we will deepen. We've heard you. We will have programs that we will take closer to our stakeholders so that we fully appreciate their frustration, we fully appreciate their demands as we collaborate in this journey. In closing, Program Director, I extend my sincere gratitude to the board for its guidance, our stakeholders for their collaboration, our employees for their unwavering dedication. Together, we have demonstrated that excellence is not merely aspirational, but a standard we consistently uphold. As we look forward, let us remain united in purpose, confident in our vision, and committed to achieving even greater heights in the years ahead. We will continue to open our eyes and open our mind, ensure that we attend all the issues that the stakeholders will have. Chair, you were correct indeed. It has not been all hunky-dory. We are an organization that is living in an ecosystem. We do have challenges, but together with the board and management, we'll continue to refine our orientation, respond with speed and precision, ensure that we attend all the issues and all the demand that our stakeholders need. We truly appreciate your presence here today. This is just a summary of the organizational overview performance. My colleagues will come with the details in terms of unpacking all the targets that we had set ourselves for the year. We under review. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Acting CEO. Indeed, all these wonderful achievements are never achievable by Sasseta alone, but it is through partnership and collaboration. And once again, we thank you, all stakeholders. A round of applause for yourselves. At this point in time, I'm going to call upon Ms. Jueria Amot, the Executive Manager, Learning Programs, to take us through the Sasseta non-financial performance. Ms. Amot, can we appreciate her as she comes to the stage?
Thank you very much, Program Director. Good morning, board members, ex-board members, ARC chairperson, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Okay, yeah. I think everyone is saying you are too quiet. What's happening to Limpopo today? Is it the thunderstorms on the other days that has been negatively affecting you? Are you good? All right, so I'm going to take you through a presentation on the CETA's non-financial performance. Once I figure this thing here out. Moving. Not fair. Okay, I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, the slides are not moving. Okay, it's moving now. All right, so in terms of our presentation outline, I think we're going to focus on the actual performance that we achieved in the 2024-2025 financial year as Sasseta. So, colleagues, you know that money, Chelete talks. So everything we do is based on the amount of money that we have available. That's the start. And that amount comes from the levies that our stakeholders are contributing to us. We also guided by the Sasseta strategic plan, our annual performance plan, as well as the service level agreement that we signed with the Department of Higher Education and Training. So we don't just decide alone and do our own things. Everything we do gets approved by the Department of Higher Education and Training and by Parliament. Our mandate basically comes from the National Skills Development Plan, which was developed in 2018. And we have many areas that we are tasked to deliver on in terms of the National Skills Development Plan. So our key legislation is the Skills Development Act of 1998. I think everyone in the room is familiar with the Skills Development Act. Stemming from the Skills Development Act, in terms of Section 10, we are required to submit a sector skills plan to the Department of Higher Education and Training, and there our program 2 plays a critical role in terms of doing research, and you as well play a critical role, ladies and gentlemen, when you submit your workplace skills plan. That is where we get all the information that we use to compile the sector skills plans in terms of the hard-to-fill vacancies, etc. Our subsectors that we serve, I think we're very clear. We work in the safety and security sector. Our stakeholders are private security firms, the legal industry, the departments, which is Department of Defense, Department of Justice, Department of Correctional Services, State Security, Intelligence Activities, as well as the South African Police Service. Our vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to be leaders in skills development in the safety and security sector. And our mission statement reads that we would transform and professionalize the safety and security sector by providing qualifications and skills through effective and efficient partnerships. I think we cannot reiterate on that enough, that without partnerships with all our stakeholders, we wouldn't be standing here this morning. So I think stakeholders, you deserve a round of applause in that regard. You can give yourself a round of applause. Okay, we have an acronym for our values, and we call it LEAP. It's chic. It's a nice acronym, and we strive to ensure that we implement leadership, equity, accountability, transparency, integrity, and professionalism in Sasseta. Okay, as Mr. Memela had indicated, we had received 100% achievement on all the targets that we set for the CETA. We surpassed some of the targets, and we had a clean audit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we deserve a round of applause. Come on now. You can't be stingy with your claps. It's not fair. Okay, like Mr. Memela indicated, we've been doing this consistently over the past few years. As you'd see, the performance, 97%, 100%, and 100% at the moment. Our first program is administration, and in terms of administration, they are there basically to support the business unit and to provide us with the necessary digitization and streamlining of our processes. That's where our IT comes in. In terms of this program, they have consistently achieved 100% over the past 3 years. Under the strategic goals, they are responsible to build and strengthen collaboration with stakeholders, and this is to advance skills development in the sector. They are also responsible to ensure that our risks are identified and managed adequately. In terms of this program, the continuous improvements that we've been engaging on is to improve the internal control environment. We're also happy that we have improved in terms of the turnaround time that we would take to process payments for our stakeholders. On average, we're looking at around 2 weeks once you submit a compliant and correct invoice. I must stress that. Because if your invoice is not correct, if you haven't delivered the documents you're supposed to deliver that accompanies that invoice, then unfortunately there's nothing we can do. So once we get all the required documents, 2 weeks, and we are able to pay. In terms of risks, we've heightened risk management and compliance, and we've improved in terms of communication with our stakeholders. I think we undertook many years ago that we will come to your province on an annual basis, and we've consistently been coming here to the extent that we decided this year to bring our AGM to the Limpopo province. We really value the stakeholders in this province. Our program 2, it deals with skills planning, research, and reporting. And there, yet again, we find that we have 100% performance over the past 3 years. The main strategic goal that this program is responsible for is to identify occupations in high demand, and I think this is done through the sector skills plan. The program was responsible for 6 indicators for the year under review. In terms of challenges, we find that in this program there is participation by stakeholders, but it's not at the level that we require it to be. So we find that when we come out to do evaluation studies to check how our programs were implemented and to get positive and negative feedback from stakeholders, we find that people are reluctant to complete our surveys. I know surveys are a schlep, but surveys are needed, because without us doing surveys and evaluation and tracer studies, then we're unable to pick up what the issues are that bothers you, or what the issues are that we're implementing that we are so happy thinking, yo, we're doing the world for everyone, whereas you haven't given us feedback to say, no, this one doesn't work. So we really need you to participate in our tracer studies, our evaluation studies, as well as to ensure that you give us all the correct information in your workplace skills plan. In terms of improvements in the sector, we've improved in terms of monitoring evaluation studies. We've also improved in terms of the number of impact studies that we do. We've also strengthened our planning capacity. I just want to focus on that impact studies, because I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see that Parliament is asking a lot of questions in this regard. Our new political regime is focusing on issues that were never previously focused on. So definitely on those impact studies, we are going to intensify, because we need to give feedback to Parliament that if we implement a training, what happened during the training, how many people got jobs as a result of the training, etc. Then comes program 3, which I say is the heart of the SETA. I know some people get angry when I say that, and they think I'm doing that because it's my program. But yeah, it is my program, and it is the heart of the SETA. That's a fact. Right? This program deals with the actual implementation. This is where we roll up our sleeves and we get the work done. The program is responsible for the disbursement of the discretionary grants and to ensure that all the programs catering from the various indicators we have are properly scoped and are properly implemented out there. The program's goals is increased production of occupations in high demand. It includes linking education and the workplace, as well as improved levels of skills of the workforce in the safety and security sector, and supporting the growth of the public college system. You would know that there's also a huge focus on the public colleges, the TVET colleges, the CET colleges, and the SETA works very closely with these colleges to ensure we deliver quality learning programs. This program, 2022-2023, we had 97% performance, and thereafter 100% performance. The program has 29 indicators, which is the bulk of the indicators, and under the year in review, we supported 12,495 learners altogether. Okay, you have it now, you got it, yes. Okay, challenges in this program, we still find that some of our stakeholders delay in terms of implementing programs, and I think we are trying to get into the space to see what support we can give, especially to the public sector. We have this problem a lot in the public sector with the delays, and we are seeing what support we are going to give to government departments so that once they request for funding for training, they are able to immediately implement the learning programs. In terms of the positives in this program, I think we've improved in terms of our stakeholder engagements. We have stakeholder engagements quarterly, and we try to get feedback from stakeholders so that we can continuously improve. In terms of project management capacity, I think over the years we've strengthened our project management capacity to the extent that we have a full team who fully understand how to implement our projects and how to deal with problems, because like Chairperson has indicated, it's not a smooth ride. Many of our projects we implement have problems. Many times we find ourselves awake at 10, 11 in the night dealing with some of these problems so that we can ensure that we're looking after our learners and our employers' interests. Okay, the last program is program 4, which is our ETQA program. This is the quality assurance program, and under this program, they were responsible to ensure the delivery of occupational qualifications for our safety and security sector. Here as well, it's 100% performance over the past 3 years, and they are responsible for one indicator on the APP. Now, the challenge we're having in the ETQA division is that we don't have sufficient human capital to help us to deliver on the mandate, because the mandate is constantly being increased and it's constantly changing in line with the new landscape when it comes to occupational qualifications. So we are busy dealing with that challenge. The new board has been fully briefed about that challenge in ETQA, and they are on it. Continuous improvements, we've also reduced in our certification timelines. We've been fully audited in this area, and there's been a significant improvement. We've previously took 40 days to issue certificates from the day of compliance documents being submitted, and for the year under review, we've done it in 30 days. And we set ourselves a challenge for the current financial year to reduce it further to 21 days. We're also involved in more intensive monitoring of skills development providers because, as you know, the way our society is, we have some people who want to take shortcuts. So we've identified that, and we have intensified the monitoring of our skills development providers so that we can identify where the shortcuts are being taken or where people are being very naughty, and then we're able to deal with them appropriately. Moving now to the future, I think, looking ahead, we want to intensify our stakeholder collaboration. We want to improve in terms of skills development. The new chief in town, the new minister, Minister Manamela has given some marching orders. He's issued a lot of public statements where the focus is on impact in terms of job creation, etc. So that is where we're going to focus. And then putting everything together, obviously, we have to move with technology. So we are planning to do a lot of improvements in terms of digital transformation so that we are up there with the rest. Okay, now we would not have been able to achieve whatever we've achieved if we had not had you as our stakeholders, if we had not had our audit committee giving us guidance, if we had not had our board giving us the support and trusting in us and relying on us to execute the mandate. So I think another round of applause, or you can ululate, or whatever it is for yourselves. Okay. I'm going to pass this. Now, going to the exact targets, I'm going to just go quickly through this because I'm very mindful of the time. I see I have 4 minutes left. On Program 1, we strive to achieve 4 partnerships, strategic partnership with stakeholders, and this target was achieved and the number was surpassed. We land up with 10 strategic partnerships and memorandums of understandings that we had achieved for the year under review. In terms of our risk maturity, our target was to ensure that we retain our level 5 rating by government, and level 5 is the highest rating. You can't go anything beyond 5, and we managed to achieve on that. That is Program 1. Program 2, our first target was the research studies where like I said earlier on, we would do different research, different topics per year, and our annual target was to do 8 research studies. We did manage to achieve on the 8 research studies. Similarly, the tracer studies or the evaluation studies, we did have a target of 8, and that was duly achieved on. Program 2 was also responsible for updating the sector skills plan with the latest information that we got from the workplace skills plan. That was also achieved on. It was submitted to the department by the date that the department had determined. In terms of the workplace skills plans, the submissions, colleagues, you know, we would categorize them in terms of the small firms, the medium firms, and the large firms. So we set targets, and obviously the targets were set based on the baselines. So in terms of the smaller firms, we expected to get and approve 330 workplace skills plan, but that was surpassed by 171. When it comes to the medium firms, we thought we would get 151. However, that was also increased to 197. That's an increase in 46. And when it comes to the large firms submitting the WSP and getting approval on the WSP, the target was 173, and we achieved 327. Now, I think these numbers also tell us a story, because it tells us, CEO, that stakeholders are coming on board, because there's an increase in the number of stakeholders who are submitting the WSP. That means our efforts in trying to get everyone on board, our marketing effects, etc., are yielding results because of this increase in these numbers. Then when it comes to Program 3, colleagues, the targets, I'm going to just go through the numbers in terms of the entered and completion. Most of the targets, if not all, have an entered and a completed number. So when it comes to unemployed bursaries, we achieved 211, 11 more than what was planned. When it comes to the completions, we have 50, we had planned for 45. And now when it comes to the entered and completed targets, when the Sasseta is more, then we can award more, we can deliver more. So that is why you find that some of the entered targets are overachieved, because as more funds came in to the discretionary grant pool, then we were able to award more projects, because we couldn't just sit them with the money and return it back to Treasury. No, that doesn't happen at Sasseta, because we have stakeholders who need the funds. So that's what we would do when there's excess funds. We would award to other projects and overachieve on the targets. And then even the completion targets, some of them are overachieved, because when we do planning, we based the completions based on research we've done on the throughput rate, because I think in life and in the current circumstances we face, we know that in as much as you find 100 people going to university, not all of them will pass and complete. So based on the trends, we set the completion targets. So some of the completion targets are overachieved by a few, and that's because that more learners than what was planned to complete managed to successfully complete their programs. When it comes to the TVET student placements, there we achieved 873. The completions was 504. Moving on to University of Technology placements, this is where we place students who are currently studying at university who need that 1 month or 2 months or 3 months practical experience before they can graduate from the University of Technology. So we managed to place there 489, and 403 of those completed their placements. When it comes to the candidacy programs, and our candidacy programs in Sasseta focuses on the legal sector because they are more interested in those type of programs rather than the learnerships and the other skills programs. There we also surpassed, we had 379, we planned on 200. There was a big demand on this, and we found in terms of the research that a lot of people finish their LLB degrees, but they don't get to do their articles. So this program was also, all of them, all 379 are students we supported to do their articles, and of them, 88 completed their articles in the year under review. And then when it comes to the normal internships for students who may have a matric or may have degrees, etc., our entered target was 727, and 324 of them completed. When it comes to learnerships, of which our private security industry is really interested in learnerships, and there's a big demand, we achieved 2,088, and those who completed was 1,161. Program Director, I am mindful of the time, just 2 more minutes. And then when it comes to employed learners, those who are working, who've done learnerships, we had 753 learners, of which 527 successfully completed. When it comes to bursaries for employed individual, we had 103 learners who entered and 38 who completed. Skills programs, which are the shorter duration programs, which are the only type of program which will enter and complete in a 1 year, we had 2,343 that we supported, and of those 2,070 completed. When it comes to artisan programs, we had 252 learners who enrolled on artisan programs, and 118 of them completed the artisan programs. Some of our TVET colleges are classified as centers of specialization to focus on developing certain artisan skills. So as a CETA, we supported one of those centers of specialization by providing funding to them to implement programs which are required for the country. There's a big demand for infrastructure in our country. Infrastructure is currently a problem. So this is where the centers of specialization focuses on certain artisan skills like building bridges, like plumbing, etc. And that is how we supported the TVET college in question. Then when it comes to recognition of prior learning, we had 164 learners who entered and 138 learners who completed. When it comes to entrepreneur support, and this is one of the cutting edge areas that CETAs are focusing on, is to develop entrepreneurs, because traditionally we focused on the student going to university or TVET college after completing training. However, not all of them are designed to do that. So therefore, the entrepreneurship here, we're seeking to establish businesses for youth who are not necessarily following the academic pathway. So we had 24 entrepreneurs who were successfully supported to establish their own business. When it comes to unemployed learners who we supported through skills programs, the entered target was 443 and the completed was 415. And last but not least, career development. We do career development in schools. So we had divide them into urban and rural support, and we managed to have 34 events. When it comes to capacity building workshops for LO teachers, which is life orientation teachers, to tell them what exactly we're doing in the safety and security sector, what careers are available, so that they could then pass the information on to their students. We had 2 capacity building workshops, and then our new indicator, which deals with the pertinent problem, I think, in the country at the moment of unemployment. We had 69 learners who were absorbed into employment after completing our learning programs. When it comes to our ETQA department, there we managed to develop 4 new qualifications as required by the sector. We got requests for qualification development based on new occupations that are out there, and we developed qualifications, and these qualifications were duly submitted to the South African Qualifications Authorities. There was 4 of them. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amot. Thank you, wonderful band. Just keep on bringing the fun. We appreciate that. Can we appreciate our band? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping to time. We are continuing with the program. I am now going to call upon our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Ikalafeng Diale, to come and present the Sasseta financial performance. CFO, can we appreciate the CFO?
We are all about skills development. I'm on a skills program of navigating through the presentation. Is it moving? I think I will need help with this. Head of Learning Programs, how does it work? Thank you, Churia. You are a very beautiful audience, and thank you so much for honoring this event. Let me start following suit on acknowledgement of all protocols. I will not repeat that. I am trying to manage time. Tebogo is very strict on time. She gave me a lecture on what needs to be done and what are the parameters of time. Thank you, Tebogo. I want us to have a conversation on the financials of the SETA. Obviously, this is a very summarized version of the financial presentation. The details are sitting in the annual report, and this is just an outline of what we will be conversing about. We start with a statement of financial performance. Obviously, we are reflecting a 3-year performance here, and we recognize a growing trend in revenue. This has been a trend over the past 5 years as well. We see the same trend growing in expenditure. Business of service delivery is all about spending money. So if the spending trends are going down, you ought to be worried. If it goes high, it means service delivery is indeed happening, and more in the segments of the grants, mandatory grants and discretionary grants. Our levies are derived from private companies. Another revenue stream that we have is revenues coming from the government departments and also funds that are invested in the bank account. And you will see all the bars are hiking up, showing that indeed there is more money coming to the SETA, enough money has been invested, hence there is also good growth on investments. Government departments are also coming on board in terms of their contributions to the SETA. I said business of service delivery is all about spending money. You will see a growing trend in all the bars. I'm more interested in the gray and the baby blue bars, which is your mandatory grants and your discretionary grants, where core business is happening. Now, given context of the business of the SETA, we can all agree that when the blue bar goes high, it means there are more beneficiaries coming into the system, which is what we wanted. This is what the SETA is about. When mandatory grants are going high, it means most stakeholders are claiming mandatory grants. That one, of course, is self-regulatory, and it is informed by the extent to which those that are complying with the requirements for being eligible to be paid mandatory grants are compliant, and therefore we disperse the grants. And on administration, like any other organization, we need admin to service core business of the SETA. This refers to expenditure relating to payment of salaries and the overheads of the organization. We need that support function to finance our service delivery. We quickly then move to the statement of financial position, where we look at our assets and liabilities, and you will again see a growing trend in the assets, both current and non-current assets. You look at the liabilities also, we are carefully managing liabilities, and you see the net position of the reserves there on the balance sheet. We'll get to the details of this summary on the next slides. You look at the non-current assets as we unpack the current position, the current asset position of the assets is more of the PPE. We are very less heavy on property, plant, and equipment as an organization. Work in progress are systems that we are developing as a SETA so that we are able to service you better. We also have intangible assets talking to more of the software that we need to run the business of the SETA. Current assets, we are looking at our data from both exchange and non-exchange transactions. We look at inventory, very less heavy on inventory as well, and the cash and equivalents, that is money that we have in the bank account. We give you assurance that this money belongs to all of us. We need to be sharing it. It is safe, with the bulk of it sitting with the reserve bank and very small amount sitting in our operating account. I won't dwell much on that. We unpack the liabilities position of the balance sheet. We are looking at the finance lease obligations, which the amount is very insignificant. And the significant portion of the liabilities are sitting more on the current liabilities, where we look at our obligations in terms of the exchange and non-exchange payables, current portions of the finance lease obligations, are also the provisions. And the provisions, we try to unpack them so that it is clear what are the provisions of the SETA. 500K at this level, we know what that means. It's all about those employers that are contributing, of which the threshold of a payroll annually, it is less than 500,000. And we do encourage that, those that are eligible to be paid on this, they come forward, and we still honor and appreciate those that are paying, even though the threshold in terms of the salary bill is not at a threshold of 500,000 annually. The most important one that I need to be talking to is the other, or even though the amount is insignificant, but that is all about our tenant installation in our head office building and the rehabilitation cost of the building itself. In the event we need to be vacating the office that we are leasing, we need to bring it to its original condition. So the rest are self-explanatory. There isn't anything to really be concerned about on these obligations. And we just look at the quick ratios, your current and cash ratios, that are testimony to the strength of our assets and cash and cash equivalents vis-a-vis our liabilities. Now, you see that this is a very healthy situation, and these numbers, you would have seen them again on the balance sheet. This is just giving assurance, accounting-wise, that we are running a very healthy financial portfolio as a SETA. We also have commitments. Now, these commitments in the current day are sitting at the tune of 698 million rands. Now, this is not money that is sitting in our account and we really don't know what to be doing about it. It is committed to service delivery, more on discretionary grants. And these are projects that will continue to run in the current year, and some of them are long-term commitments. We'll see them running again in the following year. The drive of the SETA is to try and reduce the extent of these commitments, and we are doing the best that we can to try and manage this situation. And it all starts with ensuring that we advertise discretionary grants on time, we award on time, project starts on time. Where there are glitches, we immediately intervene to try and ensure that there aren't challenges in the rollout of our learning programs. And we also have all types of programs which this 698 million rands is committed to. So we are very grateful that at least we are able to commit all the funds as a SETA. We don't take joy if we have funds lying in our bank account, and at some point we need to be saying, how do we then surrender these funds back if South African children are actually needing these funds? So we are all about service delivery, and we appreciate all effort from my colleagues, the support from the board also in ensuring that we dedicate these funds to where they are needed most. We are very transparent in terms of reporting, and we talk about issues that are very controversial as well. Let's start with the issue of fruitless and wasteful expenditure. We have not incurred any. That shows how diligent we are in terms of spending and ensuring that we apply correct level of due care when we spend public funds. And this can happen to anyone to be incurred, but we try the best that we can. We have very robust systems of internal control and compliance processes to avoid incurrence of such expenditure. We only see one number of 22,000 rents that occurred in 2022-23 financial year, and that was all about interest that we had to incur as a result of a matter that we were pursuing legally. It was ruled against us. As a result, we had to pay the 22,000 rents, and we ordinarily don't incur such expenses. We move again and be transparent about issues of irregular expenditure. And I assure you, ordinarily when we say irregular expenditure, it is associated with some form of corruption. In our context, that was not the case. This is irregular expenditure, which was very unfortunate, which was incurred as a result of process deficiencies that occurred at the Department of Higher Education and Training in the appointment of some of the board members in the previous term. Now, by definition, Public Finance Management Act is very clear. How do you deal with irregular expenditure? It is recognized against the budget that incurs it, irrespective of where the process was flowed. It was flowed elsewhere, but because the payments were made on Sasseta budget, we had to recognize that irregular expenditure in the financial statements of the SETA. We are able to explain that. We are joining hands with the departments to make sure that we synchronize our processes and we ensure that there isn't incurrence of such again going forward. When irregular expenditure is incurred, there's a process that needs to be followed, all about it determining who is accountable, what the SETA needed to do. And I assure you that all these steps were followed independently so by internal audit, and we were not found wanting. And it is understood that it was a very unfortunate situation that was not within the SETA's control. We spoke about a clean audit. It is on my slide. It feels like I'm rubbing this clean audit thing. I'm not. I must talk about it as CFO. We achieved a clean audit. Another round of applause, please. Now, this slide is coded, and the code that I see here is one. Sasseta staff, we are grateful for the work that they are doing diligently, so ensuring that we comply with all requirements of all acts that are applicable to the SETA in the execution of service delivery and in financial administration. The next code that I see here is about the support that we received from them in ensuring that all decisions that we take, as difficult as they may be, we are still compliant, we are supported from the accounting authority point of view. I see another code on ARC. I don't ordinarily get an opportunity to command the chairperson of ARC to do anything. I was going to say stand up, but he was made to stand up to even come to the front. Mr. Dokrat, we do appreciate the work that ARC is doing, holding us accountable, transparently so, giving us difficult time. It's all in the interest of good governance, and we appreciate that. And more our stakeholders, when we engage and say, this can happen, this can't happen. Sometimes it is frustrating. There is a lot of red tape in processes of government, of service delivery. You are frustrated, but you are willing to listen to us when we say certain things can happen for compliance reasons. And it is all because of your patience and working together, joining hands, so that today we are able to stand proudly so and say, as a SETA, we have achieved this clean audit, audited by the AG, and we are grateful for all the support that we are receiving. That was a very high-level summary of the financial affairs of the SETA. I thank you. Thank you, Tebogo.
Thank you, CFO, for that accounting 101 to 302. Numbers don't lie. At this point in time, I'm going to call upon Ms. Amot to come on stage She's going to be introducing some of our beneficiaries that Sasseta has funded within the financial year 2024-2025 as they come to share how Sasseta has made an impact in their lives and changed them from where they were. Ms. Amot, if you can kindly ascend the stage. Can we appreciate her?
Okay, thank you, Program Director. Okay, before I get into my presentation, I think I want to acknowledge some of our colleagues. Our acting executive manager for Program 2, Ms. Melanie Rajagopal. It's her birthday today. Mel, can you stand? So Mel is our monitoring manager, but she's acting in Mr. Memela's post at the moment. So I think, Mel, we appreciate you. We appreciate the fact that you are here with us today, although it's your birthday. Board members, can you see the commitment? I hope you can see the commitment. And then the second one is our program director. It's her birthday tomorrow. So Ms. Mapala, our SAM manager, it's her birthday tomorrow. So wishing you all of the best for your birthdays, ladies. Enjoy your time, enjoy your weekend, and I think something special from us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear colleagues. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think on this presentation, we're focusing on our high impact projects. We've spoken about the high impact projects several times. And basically, I'm going to take you through the highlights in terms of the projects that we've implemented, the details, as well as the new indicator that I spoke to earlier on, which is our learner absorptions and our targets in that regard. And then I'm going to do a call to our stakeholders to support us in this area. Now, as you saw from my earlier presentation, we supported many learners in the year under review. And all our programs were 100% achieved. Now, in terms of the service level agreement that we signed with the Department of Higher Education and Training, they require us to report on learners who are absorbed into employment after completion of learning programs, or even in some type of programs, learners who are absorbed while they are being trained. And then also, I think in as much as we implement all the learning programs, and I think it's always some of the colleagues, even the board members, they ask, what are we doing? What's the nature of the exact projects that we're implementing? I think, therefore, we said we'll just pick up a few, not to say that other projects are not important, that other projects don't have impact. All of our projects have impact. I think the level of impact can be measured differently. Some of them are high impact and others are not. So just to highlight some of our learning programs that we implemented under the year under review. I think the first one is that we implemented a project with the South African Policing Services to train diesel and motor mechanics. So employees of the police, we trained them to be diesel and motor mechanics. Why? We did this because SAPs have their own garages. And in the garages that they have, they are outsourcing currently the fixing of vehicles. I mean, we all know that a lot of police vehicles are involved in collisions with the high-speed chases, etc. Now, that work is currently being outsourced at a cost of millions of rands. So in partnership with the police, we are doing artisan training for diesel and motor mechanics so that we can train their own employees to fix the vehicles themselves, and thereby save the taxpayers' money, save government's money, saving millions of rands, because outsourcing then would be diminished to the extent where we have enough of people trained. As the years go, there wouldn't be a need for SAPs to outsource. So that is one of the projects that we implemented for 40 employees of SAPS. The next one is we implemented paralegal training, National Certificate in Paralegal. Mind you, all of these qualifications are all NQF registered, where learners get credit towards their qualifications. It goes against their CV as proper qualifications. So with the employees of the Department of Justice, we ran a project for 100 learners where we took ordinary administrative staff employed by the department working in courts, and we gave them training on paralegal, where we taught them how to improve their ability to draft those legal complex documents, how to deal with interdicts, how to deal with the drafting of reports required for judges who are presiding over domestic violence matters, etc. So that is another successful project we implemented under the year in review. The next one is that I always say, and for those of you who hear me speaking all the time, please forgive me, I always say that the Department of Defense is like a mini country on its own. Because in the Department of Defense, when our soldiers go to war, when things happen, our soldiers, not learners, our soldiers need support. They need cars, they need medical services, they need logistics, etc., etc. So within the Defense Force, there is all of these sub-departments. So there was a need for nurses to be trained because troops who were being deployed needed medical services. So Sasseta rolled up his sleeves here once again, and we trained 20. Yes, 20 is a small number, but remember I talked about the chelete earlier on. So it depends on how much there is, right? So we trained 20 people to be qualified as nurses. Now, when I'm saying nurses, obviously it includes different levels. We even trained some of them to do their masters in nursing. And they all successfully completed their learning interventions for the year under review. The next program we had is, I've spoken to the TVET colleges and the CETs. So what we find is that there's a mismatch between what industry wants in terms of the skills and what is produced in the classroom. So we have implemented projects with many of the TVET colleges and the CET colleges where we take their lecturers and we take them out of the classroom and we place them in the workplace, so that they're able to see what are the latest trends, what is the latest technology being used in the workplaces. So we had 20 learners from KZN CET, Western Cape CET, Sekukune, and Shwane South TVET College, where we took them and we exposed them to the areas that they're teaching in the real world, so that they can get that knowledge and take it back to the classroom. Our next project, which we implemented, which is rural focused, is our security officer qualification. And I know there's many of my colleagues who don't like the security officer qualification. But I'm a strong supporter of the security officer qualification. So what we did here is that we focused on SMMEs, where we made ring-fence funding available for the smaller security companies to get funding to train unemployed youth in the entry-level qualification for security officer. So these youth were trained under the year in review, 800 of them, and they were given skills on how basic security operations run. Most of them then subsequently would get employment under the SMMEs who trained them and with bigger security companies. And I think in as much as when people talk about impact, they want to see big things. Small things also matter. So for me, the stipend that we paid to these unemployed youth from rural areas, it went a long way because it helped our learners to be self-sufficient. And when you go out and visit these projects, learners will tell you that they're using that stipend money to support their families, their extended families at home. So no one can say that that is not impact. It is impact. So that is what we did, and I think this is where the focus, it was like killing two birds with one stone, because we took the SMMEs. Because colleagues, you do know that if you're a small company employing less than 50 employees, then you don't have to pay a skills development levy, but you can still benefit from the discretionary grants. And this is now what we're doing for SMMEs. We're taking even the legal firms, the small security and the small legal firms, and we're giving them funding to implement these projects. So I think our CEE as well, during the year under review, when the numbers were less that we were giving to the SMMEs, he was saying, no, let us increase to these SMMEs. So this is our initiative. There's many initiatives that we have for our SMMEs. Then the next project which we implemented, which is quite rural focused as well, is career guidance. We had a target for urban schools and for rural schools. And when it comes to the rural schools, we went to deep rural areas and did career guidance to the kids in the school. It was 7,273 learners that we were able to reach through this program by giving them the necessary career guidance, by telling them what are the requirements, by talking about the issue of crime and how if you have a criminal record, it's very difficult for you to enter the safety and security sector, by also helping them in terms of applying for bursaries, by also helping them in terms of them applying to universities, the grade 12 students. So this is the other work that we do in career guidance. Then the next is, I think it's one of our legacy projects. Over the years, I think since 2020, we've been heavily focused on gender-based violence. We've implemented many projects where the focus is on dealing with the scourge of gender-based violence in society. Colleagues, as you know, just last week, the president said that gender-based violence is a disaster now in our country. It's a crisis. So under the year in review, we shifted our focus a bit. We provided funding to the Tshwane University of Technology for them to train students, lecturers, administrators, as well as their security personnel in terms of matters of gender-based violence. So our approach is prevention rather than cure. So to prevent, it means you need to educate people. You do education campaigns, you tell people what to do if certain things happen. You alert people what the early warning signs are. So we implemented that with TUT under the year in review for a total of 1,115 beneficiaries. Then our next project, which is also high impact, is our entrepreneurship. Like I said, we supported many entrepreneurs. It was 25 for the year under review. But I just want to focus on this project. It was held in your province, where we partnered with the training provider, Mazaisi training provider, and we took learners and we taught them how to do mixed farming and plant production. It was 77 learners who completed the program at the end, but it didn't end there. We helped them to establish their own entrepreneurships. We helped them to establish cooperatives. And in terms of these cooperatives that were opened, we also provided the startup funding in terms of giving them the necessary produce, the necessary, the baby chicks, etc., for them to do, to set up their businesses. Now, on this project, I don't want to tell you too much. I think one of the successful learners has opened her own cooperative, which is Basani Agriculture, and I'd like to invite her to the podium. It's Ms. Nyambe. Ms. Nyambe, can you please come forward for her to tell us her story in terms of her journey through the entrepreneurship project that Sasseta implemented.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Before I introduce myself, I would like to thank the organizers or Sasseta Group for the invitation. It is such an honor for me to be here. My name is Mielani Charity Nyambe from Chipisi Village under Malamulele Town in Collins Chabane Municipality here in Limpopo. So last year I got an opportunity to be in a learnership of mixed farming and crop production at Mazaisi College in Madonsi Village. I was glad to be part of the program, not because of the stipend only, but the experience and knowledge. It was very helpful. While the program was ongoing, we got to learn and understand that when doing business, we have different kinds of attitudes, but to cover it all, we must have discipline and love and same mindset for the business. Last but not least, I'm sorry I'll be short. Last but not least, I am glad to tell you that I am from Basani Agriculture Primary Cooperative. It is ongoing at our village, Mochipese Village. What our goal is to give back to the community as we grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nyambe. I think, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that through the production of food, that this cooperative now is looking after their community. And these are the type of projects we want to implement as Sasseta, so that we can make communities to be self-sufficient, we can make individuals to be self-sufficient. Our next achievement for the year is the implementation of occupational qualifications. Sasseta has come a long way in terms of development of occupational qualifications, and in the year under review, we had the privilege to implement 2 occupational qualifications. So occupational qualifications are the new kids on the block. Everyone is skeptical. No one wants to implement occupational qualifications, but we found that government took up the struggle with us, and we implemented the road traffic law enforcement occupational qualification with the RTMC, the Road Traffic Management Corporation, and we implemented the non-commissioned police officer qualification with the South African Police Services. Now, what was the first for us also under the year in review was the first time we implement an AISHA, an external, integrated, summative assessment. It was quite difficult for us as a Sasseta. It was very challenging. Our ETQA manager, Ms. Mashobane, and I, we had sleepless nights preparing for this AISHA. We were supported by our SCM, Ms. Mapala, who's on the stage, our finance, Mr. Kakatiba, in terms of helping us to get the necessary expertise to help us to administer this exam. Because this is like your matric exam. It's an external exam which we had to run. We had to set exam papers. We had to get markers. We had to sort a whole lot of things out. And it was also difficult for the police because it was their very first time implementing an occupational qualification with external exams. So in terms of that achievement, I think I want to invite the learners who graduate. The learners did graduate, and we had, sorry, I made a mistake on my slides. It was 138 learners who graduated on this program. I think I did a copy and paste from the top, so please accept my apologies in that regard. It was 138 learners who completed the program and who sat for the AISHA exams in March, and who passed basically in March. And we had top achievers in the class, and our top achiever is Constable Sibia, and I'd like to invite Constable Sibia to the podium to share her experience in terms of the implementation of the occupational qualification and the external exam that she had to undertake. Constable.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I am Tembelihle Lucia Sibia, a detective constable stationed at Town Hill SAPS, Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. Today I stand before you as a proud member of the South African Police Service and a proud ambassador for the class of 2023 colleagues who have graduated from Ulundi College in 2025. A little story into the insight of my journey from being recruited to becoming top of my class. My road started as an applicant, taking a chance on making my dreams a reality of becoming a forensics analyst a step closer. I had no knowledge of the operational functions of the SAPS, but now I am confident with the knowledge I obtained. Although this program of recruits was the first of its kind, with the first external examinations for the police officials provided by the Sasseta, I knew it would be a different and somewhat difficult. The training and physical assessments were extensive, which pushed me out of my comfort zone and beyond my limits. I had also come with a vision and a goal in mind, which kept me sane and focused. The other thing which also kept me pushing through was the two little hearts that I had running back home, whom I could not fail or show weakness. Throughout the program, the college lecturers and physical trainers were helpful but receptive for us to become the best versions of ourselves, so that we may be able to be the best police officials to serve and protect our country. And also with the hope of taking over and fulfilling giant shoes, such as our awesome and just Provisional Commissioner General Mkhwanazi. Sasseta provided me with an opportunity to achieve an occupational certificate in non-commissioned police officials, an NQF level 6, through the QCTO processes. In the end, I had not even realized I was the top achiever of my class until graduation. For this magnificent achievement, I have God, my parents, my little boys, friends and family who have supported me and whose wise words kept me pushing through when I was doubtful. The impact of this training produced employment for me, and I am now a detective constable in KwaZulu-Natal. Finally, I would like to leave you with the wise words of our founding father of the nation, Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "Education is the great engine of personal development. It is through education that a daughter of a person can become a doctor, that a son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of a farm worker can become the president of a great nation." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Constable Sibia. Board members, are you seeing this? Ne? We're involved in basic police training. We're involved in basic corrections training. We're involved in basic defense training. Yes. Okay, then moving on, I think the absorptions of learners after completion of learning programs is critical to deal with the issue of unemployment in our country. We set a target, because it was our very first year, we set a target to have 39 learners who will get permanent employment after they finish training. And we did surpass this target. We had 69 learners who were employed after they completed their learning programs. Now, yes, someone will say 69, it's too little. But I think from where I'm standing, even if one learner gets a permanent job after they completed training, it means we made a difference to one learner's life. We made a difference to the learner's family's life. We made a difference to the community from where that learner is hailing. So I think we are very proud of this achievement as Sasseta. We are continuing to aim to provide impact-driven placements, and for this we rely on partnerships that we have with our stakeholders. We've increased the target for the next financial year in terms of our APP. That's the current financial year that we're busy with. So just to acknowledge all of the companies, and I think last year at the AGM in Durban, I called on stakeholders to take up the challenge to employ individuals after completion of learning programs. And I think a lot of stakeholders took up that challenge, and we found under the year in review, we had Gwina attorneys who trained learners. They trained 2 learners, but 1 learner was absorbed. We had Adams and Adams attorneys. 15 learners were being trained. 6 of them were given permanent employment. We had Mvula Security, who were training learners, of which 55 of them were given permanent jobs. Then we had Mode Security, who trained the General Security Practices qualification. Yes, the people who don't like GSO, yes. GSO was trained by Mode, and from that GSO, 4 learners got work. And then we had, my eyes is failing me. Yeah, we had PNC security services who also trained on the general security practices learnership. They were given 20 learners to be trained, and they managed to employ 2 learners who successfully completed. And then we had funders pay attorneys who were given a grant to train learners on the candidacy programs. That's your articles. They were given 1. They were just given a grant for 1 learner, and they successfully absorbed that 1 learner, leaving us with a total of 69 learners. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this which I'm projecting has been audited by AGSA. I think CFO did say we received a clean audit. All of the paperwork checked, we had employment contracts. Even our internal auditors did manage to visit some of these learners to confirm that Sasseta is not lying. These people really got employment after they finished the Sasseta program. So to share the experiences from the different sectors, I think from the legal sector on the candidacy program, can I invite Ms. Mashego from Gwina Attorneys to take us through her experience, through her learning program, her articles, and what happened subsequently. Ms. Mashego?
Good day, everyone. It is such a great honor to be part of this wonderful event today. My name is Vinolia Mashego. I hold a bachelor's degree of law, BMesh, obtained from the University of Limpopo, and I was recently admitted as an attorney. I am currently employed by Gwina Attorneys. I'm currently employed by Gwina Attorneys, one of Sasseta's stakeholders. Was part of the candidacy placement project with Sasseta, which ran from March 2023 and ended February 2025, and I was immediately absorbed by the firm. I was given a month-to-month contract pending my admission as an attorney, and thereafter I was permanently employed as an associate by Gwina Attorneys. The objective of the project was to facilitate skills development and provide practical work experience which makes one employable in the future. It is common knowledge that our country is facing a high unemployment rate, part of it, majority being the young people, including young people with higher education qualifications. I believe that one of the contributing factors onto the unemployment rate would be the lack of experience that is required. So Sasseta plays a huge role in bridging the gap between the experience that is required in workplaces and the unemployment of our young people. When I started with the program, I was fresh from the university without any workplace experience. It was a new thing for me because the only thing that I had was the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge that we get from the university, and we don't even know what is expected of us when we get into the workplaces. In just few months in the project with Sasseta, I was able to apply the knowledge that I acquired from the university in a workplace setting that allowed me to grow and become a learner in a sense where we had Sasseta people coming to the firms to check in on us and ensure that the program runs effectively. I am grateful for the exposure that I got through this project and having to showcase my practical skills to an extent that the law firm decided to retain me. I believe that without the opportunities that were presented by Sasseta and its stakeholders, I would also be part of the high unemployment rates of our young people in our country. I believe that my employment prospects are quite promising now, in a sense that the project also gives us an opportunity to network and get the exposure to meet with potential employers. It is a great work that Sasseta is doing in improving the employability of our young people, including our economy. I would highly encourage our government, the stakeholders, and partners with Sasseta to continue to support these programs and improve our country, and in turn, this will inspire our young people that there is hope of employment. And the takeaway that I would like to give to Sasseta learners, the interns, is that hard work pays, and every opportunity that slips from your hands counts. If given such an opportunity, do your best to ensure that you get the experience and the skills to advance yourself. To the beneficiaries, especially the employers and the training providers, we appreciate the efforts and the opening of doors to train us on the job and providing us with an opportunity to showcase our skills, because I understand that it takes a lot of patience to develop one's practical skills. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, we have Ms. Ngube. She's from Mode Security, and she's going to take us through her experience, her learning journey, and subsequent employment. Ms. Ngube.
Showers of greetings to you all, protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, and the house at large. I'm honored to be here. Standing before you is the girl who proudly answers to the name Princess Ngube. I'm a shooting range officer at Mode Security Services. We're living in an economy where security services are underrated a lot. But through Sasseta, my mindset changed. I managed to see the good in it. I got to know and be part of the GSO Sasseta Learning Program, which took a plot twist in my whole career. Well, due to different reasons, I had to pause my dream of enhancing to tertiary because life had to show me flames, but Sasseta came through for me and I managed. Well, while on my job hunting, I visited one of the companies, Mode Security Services. 99% of the companies I went through asked me for security qualifications. By then, I did not know what it was, and I was lost what they were talking about. Luckily, the nice ladies at the reception were kind enough to tell me what it is and explained from A to Z. And they suggested I leave my CV there, and 2 months later down the line, I got a call from them. They told me about a Sasseta learning program and asked if I wanted to be part of. And obviously, as an unemployed girl, yes, I said yes. So, as the learning started, honestly, I was just glad that I was doing something with my life and I was getting a stipend. But as it went by, I started learning a lot and I got to understand a lot in the industry. Funny is that I assumed security officers were the least educated people. Turns out I was wrong. I still remember the day of the induction with the lady from Sasseta by the name Matsepo, who came to us and told us and advised us about opportunities within the industry and what we can do with our qualifications and where they can take us. And tell you something, she did not end there. She used to come and check up on us, check if we got our stipends, check if we're attending our classes. After completing a year, I was one of the fortunate individuals who were absorbed by Mod Security Services, and the company blessed me in the fire department. As I stand before you, I'm a shooting range officer. My aim is to become a firearm assessor and a gunsmithing. I truly pledge, and I'm truly grateful to Sasseta for giving me the opportunity and for being the driving force behind this, to myself for agreeing to change my mindset about security services. And I also pledge to Mod Security Services, who told me and gave me the opportunity to change that. And a takeaway to any learner who is in the learning program of Sasseta: we all start somewhere, and that somewhere is all different for all of us. And I'm telling you, Sasseta might be something to you. Take it from me, take it from a range officer. I'm here, and today I know how to command a range. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mube. I think, ladies and gentlemen, can we give all of our beneficiaries a round of applause? Hearing their stories just gives us the courage and the determination to want to do more. And I think as Sasseta, we're giving our commitment to our stakeholders that this is the space we want to play in, and this is what we want to do in our country. Like I indicated earlier on, that we've upped the bar. We've put in 2 new indicators in the current year's APP that deals with absorptions of learners, and we're going to need your support to help us through this journey. I think there's like 4 months left in the current financial year. We have a target to employ 100 learners who complete learnerships or candidacy programs, and 60 learners getting absorbed even if they haven't finished their internships programs or their TVET placement programs. So that is our target, and we're relying on you stakeholders to hold hands with us so that we can achieve on this. I think the most important lesson for us is that with the rapidly growing economy that we have, the most sustainable way for us to create shared values is to generate meaningful employment opportunities. And therefore, we're putting out a call to you stakeholders to implement projects with us that prioritize job creation. Projects that will strengthen businesses. Projects that will uplift communities. Projects that will reduce inequality. Our last speaker was a female, and she's commanding a shooting range. And those are the things we need to see happening. Programs that will eliminate poverty. And programs that will contribute to the growth of our economy on a long-term basis. So I think as Sasseta, we're calling on you, please hold hands with us. Let us work together. If you have ideas, stakeholders, even those stakeholders who are attending online, at the last I checked, we had 69 of our stakeholders who was attending the session online. So we're putting out a call to you. Please work with us. Our main focus is impact in terms of job creation. And I think together we can build a future where innovation and opportunity go hand in hand. Let's collaborate to design and implement projects that make employment the cornerstone of impact. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Ms. Amot, and our beneficiaries, young ladies that are so energetic, not scared of anything. It's really heartwarming. As women, normally we want to shy away from a gun, but I'm seeing young people saying we can. So can we appreciate them one more time? At this point in time, we are going to take your questions and comments and any compliments that you might have. So I'm going to kindly ask for the roving mics to be on standby. And I already see one hand right there at the back. Our executives, if you can kindly be ready to respond. Will you be responding from where you're sitting, or do you want to come closer to the stage? If maybe you can get a mic. Can we get a mic to the executive? Yes. Right, there is a question. If you can kindly stand, sir, and tell us your name and which company are you representing, and then you can ask your question.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Ruben Matoma. I'm from SABPP. SABPP, it's a professional body for HR function. So when I come here, I was having a lot of questions. But now, most of them fell off after a presentation which were made by various speakers. I'll start by appreciating the board of Sasseta and the executive for the work well done. Can we give them a long round of applause again? Thank you very much. To receive a clean audit in so many years is very much difficult. Some of the sitters, they are struggling to get a clean audit. I remember some of them are even going to disclaimers and all those things because they can't disclose all what they've done, like what you are doing today. You are right when you said we must work together. I have seen this stakeholder, this AGM, of course, is for the stakeholders because you were not talking a lot. You invited a lot of speakers who were telling us some success stories, and I appreciate that. And let me come to my question before my time is up. I did not hear anything about your staff compliment. Who are these people? How many are they who are doing such a beautiful work? And the vacancy rate, I never heard anything about that. So I'd like somebody to clarify us because I wanted to check if you are not overloading them because they are doing a good job, but we must know how many are they. My comment, those who were the beneficiaries who came there, they were all female. I don't know what's happened to the male. So next time, we must also see male coming there in front and tell us their success stories. I'm not saying we must not empower women. Of course, we must empower them and the youth. But let's try to balance the gender. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Executives, do we want to take the questions as they come, or do we take them as they come? Continue. Sorry? Allow others. Okay. Anyone with any other question? If you can kindly raise your hand if you do have a question. I can't see at the back. Is there a hand? Yes, okay.
Thank you, Program Director. Greetings to all stakeholders, Chairperson and CEO. My name is Ntsiye Malao. I'm from Letswai Lamutsumi Primary Cooperative, based in Skukuni District, Begersfort. My first comment is to our Honorable Acting Chairperson, Mr. Eric Chilamba Vunwa. I hope I spell it properly. I think the comments that made in terms of stakeholders, the relationship, in my small few years in skills development is really powerful. I wish this interaction to say as stakeholders were important. I wish even if it happened during the birthday, we say, who is birthdaying today from the stakeholders? That is what the chairperson said. We also checked them. Stakeholders, do you have somebody birthdaying today? Mr. Chair, you made a very powerful input. So I hope we are going to get it right because it's SETA and the stakeholders, not only one side.
Okay.
To our graduate, of all the graduates, I just want only to make comments because, as I said, I come from a cooperative. So I would like to make more input to our graduate, Ms. Nyembe, with the qualification from agriculture. Chair, 2025 is declared the International Year of Cooperatives globally by United Nations, and we are going towards the end of that celebration. I'm wearing this T-shirt. Everyone, you must come and take photos. Because it's very rare to know that United Nations declared International Year of. We must know in Limpopo, and Limpopo is doing very well with development of cooperatives, Chair. So I'm proud, Sasseta, board and CEO, what you have done to this cooperative coming from around Mopani district. I want to take it with district rather than the villages. So I think they would continue to be empowered. Ms. Nyemba, I wish when you finish here, we engage more so that we can direct you because we are involved more with the development of cooperatives so that you know some of the grants that you can get as a cooperative. I think already you qualify for 2.5 million from Department of Small Business Development. And it starts with the work done by Sasseta first. And you are going to another higher level. So at which Chair, we do more for cooperatives. It's pillar number 6, entrepreneurship and cooperative development. We want to see more military veterans. I know they are not here because I'm in SDF. Military veterans have formed cooperatives, and we are not seeing progress, Chair. Let's go and check that. Ms. Amot, let's check those military veterans cooperatives. What are we doing for them? These people have fought our liberation, and they are not benefiting at the moment. They form cooperatives, they are there. So let's see what you can do more as we celebrate this International Year of Cooperative. I think it's until the end of the financial year, 31st of March. I want you also to check, Ma'am Ahmad, the stats were not clear for me for CET colleges. How many really have you managed to help or to engage or to develop? Because community education training, they deal with us more from the rural areas, deeply. It's where we see delivery with skills development. TVETs, yes, they are doing well, but they are hearing. But the CET, the community learning are there in rural areas. Almost every municipality would find 2 or 3 CET branches compared to a TVET. So we are pushing much to the development of this. So I would like to hear those statistics. I'm happy I see Skukuni in your stats, as you mentioned, then I smile, so no, something same, but I want to know how many. Because I cannot even report to my stakeholders that in Sikukuni, 3 CET college or 3 CLC colleges were involved. So I would like to have more clarity on that. I still have more questions, but I'll pause there.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other question?
Thank you to Program Director. I don't have any question, but I only want to put a comment to all directors who gave an advice to our three ladies that if you are in class, the rest for learnership or whatsoever, you mustn't look only for stipend. You have to look for education. Tomorrow you can be someone else. As an example, like our ladies. As now, if you see, it is difficult to all of us to see such a lady or such a young lady to be in a shooting range place. So it gives us more advice when we go back to our business. So if we get learnership, we have to advise our learner not to look after stipend and go. So finally, I put a big comments to Sasseta management for a clean audit as an example for many years. The more you show us a direction, we as a directors, it leads us also when we go back. We have to sit down with our administrator or also to have a good audit. That is the only things which I only want to comment. So then it can uplift our communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is that it? Okay, one last question.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Chilizi Munas from Fua College. I've got a few points. One, Ms. Jaira spoke about, she called for partnership or support for the 100 and 60, which you need to fill those before 31 March. I don't know if you can clarify on that. We may, even out of this house, if you tell us how, we may take half of those learners. We have got availability to consume if we know what is available to be consumed. So that is the first issue. Two, in regard with workplace integrated learning, I just want to leave a challenge to the house. I see most of the time you talk of public TVET colleges, but you collect a lot of your revenue from private sector. Can you maybe in your next planning look into something that you have to deal with consuming private security officials? You may find that your number may go so high. If you come up with a strategy where you can be able to support security officials, because they get trained, after being trained, they expect to be employed, but by that time when they need to be employed, they are not yet experienced. And some of us could be available to actually consume those security officials if Sasseta comes in to support workplace integrated learning for security officials. The third one, you spoke of community projects. Can we get clarity as to which projects do you support? Especially if we can look at deep rural areas where, I'll give you an example like deep rural in Venda, where there are people who at night, they will wake up and patrol the streets. Are those types of projects that Sasseta can fund as it is related to security? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Executives, I'll allow you then to respond to the questions.
No, thanks for the question. I will take the first one and then I will leave to my colleagues because many of them, they are related to the presentation that was made by Ms. Amot. She will clarify. The first one, it deals with the staff turnover in the institution. We have about 157 staff turnover in Sasseta, so that it includes interns. We also take interns, which they're about 11. So if you minus 11 from 157, it leaves you 146. So that's where we are. What is also important is that at Sasseta, we don't have permanent employment. All staff are on a fixed-term contract. So there's nobody who's permanent. That's the architecture of the SETAs. So that's these people that are working very hard with the dynamics that are there, because there's no job security in our space. But that's how we are structured the entire sector. So I hope I've answered the question. Ms. Amot, can I call you to attend other questions? Thanks.
Thank you so much, CE. In respect of the other questions and comments, I see there was a lot of comments, I think, which we've taken note of the comments, and it's for us to go back and incorporate in planning for the next financial year, which starts on the 1st of April. However, in terms of military veterans, I think there is work we're doing with military veterans. Yes, there was some gap years where we didn't work closely with military veterans, but I'm sure you heard that Mama Kuti is in our board, and she is from military veterans, and we've started implementing some projects with her, with the association, so that we can target our military veterans. Then in terms of cooperatives, yes, I think what we put up was just one. Remember, I indicated that I'm just giving you highlights. I think I just gave you 10 projects out of a commitment of like 400 projects. So there is other projects with cooperatives, and it is an area that we are focused on as Sasseta. In terms of our CET colleges, for that year that we're talking about, which is 2024-2025 financial year, we implemented 4 projects with CET colleges. I checked the register. We did, you correct, sir. There is a lot of unemployed youth in deep rural areas where the CET colleges operate. So we have implemented in Western Cape and in KZN. So there were learners who we funded from rural KZN, with the rural KZN CET college, to get their Abbott. So under the year in review, we supported Abbott. With Western Cape CET, we had a project for paralegal as well, where we brought in a provider to train learners from that area in partnership with the CET college on paralegal studies. And at the moment, those learners graduated in the current year, and therefore I didn't report on them. But that's what started and that year. Currently, we have MOUs with 7 of the 9 CETs, because there's 9 CETs in the country. So we have expanded. You will see when we come back to next year's AGM, we'll be talking about the projects that we ran with CUT, which is in the Free State, and with the Mpumalanga CET, which we've started projects with them in the current year, which services the Mpumalanga area. The only CETs we don't have MOUs with at the moment, where we're not doing anything, is Gauteng CET as well as Limpopo CET, but not that we don't want a MOU with Limpopo. We had one, it expired. We're in the process of renewing that MOU. So that MOU is somewhere between the offices, between myself and the CEO, for sign off so that we can extend the MOU that expires. When it comes to partnerships and how can we partner together, I think my call is that we find many companies, especially the SMME, security and legal companies, they take learnerships and they don't employ learners afterwards. And I think that is where I want the partnerships, where we need the partnerships as a CETA. We're saying, don't ask for 100 learners to be trained, a grant for 100 learners to be trained on security, and then at the end, you're not absorbing one learner, because then why did you ask for that project? You should have employment opportunities. And we're not even asking that you employ them directly. We're saying as long as you hook them up and they got employment. So even if they got employment at a sister company, it is positive because the learner did get absorbed. So those are the type of partnerships we are applying. We are a government, so we work according to policies and procedures. We have a discretionary grant policy, which is on our website at the moment, and that policy specifies that any project we implement must be through the advert and evaluation process. So there are adverts that come out, sir, and then you will just need to apply when those adverts come out. And in your proposal, proposals, obviously you have to indicate that you want to absorb learners. Because when we evaluate those applications, employers who are willing to absorb learners after the end of the project, it counts something extra in their favor. It's something more positive, and we'd want to give more learning interventions to employers involved in that regard. When it comes to local CPFs, so local community policing forums, and local individuals getting together and forming groups to patrol their areas, etc., we have previously advertised a CPF support project, and we didn't yield success. However, it is in the pipeline to be awarded, or not awarded, to be advertised as part of the next financial year. So we are busy working on a proposal for CPF training to support local communities. What we're looking at basically is to give them some resources, as well as to give local community members who are involved in patrolling, because our research has shown that even some individuals, once they retire at the age of 55 or 60, they are involved in patrolling activities in the community. So we're working very closely with Civilian Secretariat for Policing and the various community, the departments, the community, Department of Community Safety departments, to come up with a proper concept proposal that we will advertise in the next financial year that will target on the CPFs. I think I've covered all of the questions. Thank you very much, Program Director.
Yes, ma'am, there's just one question about the beneficiaries. Why are they only females? Where are the males?
Okay, I think these are the learners who are absorbed, and I think we must not be shy. Gents, you really need to step up. Ladies are in the forefront. So this is what we're finding, and even in a class, I want to be honest, when we go and do monitoring, we find that the employers are telling us that the ladies are more paying attention in class, they are more focused, the guys are talking, they're disrupting class, etc. So I think maybe a CEO, I'm going to put you on the spot, I think it's something we need to do in terms of supporting the boy child so that they can really focus in class, because we do get a lot of complaints. Some facilitators even chase the learners out of the class because of the disruptions that they are causing. So I think it's something that we've noted, and we will go back to the drawing board when we have our next executive committee and see what can we do to ensure that the throughput rate when it comes to males is much more higher. Thanks.
Okay, just one more. Community projects, which ones are being done in the rural areas?
Okay. On the projects we implemented, there were many done in the rural areas. There were many companies. I could not mention all of them in my presentation. There is a register full of security companies and legal companies that operate in the rural areas that we've supported with projects. When it comes to cooperatives, establishment, it was only under that one project, which is the mixed farming and plant production project, that many cooperatives were established. So it's not only the cooperative where Ms. Nyembe came from, it's many other cooperatives that were established. From those 77 learners, there were many cooperatives that were established, which are currently running in various villages in terms of that. But other cooperatives we don't have for the 2024-25 financial year. The others, if I had to talk to them, I'd be going into the 2025-2026 financial year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have questions from the colleagues who are attending virtually? No questions? Okay. I think that's about it. There's no more question in-house? Okay, thank you so much. It means we were very clear. Otherwise, we have ladies outside that can take your questions. Maybe if during lunch you find that you have a question, we have colleagues outside that can take your questions and will answer you in due course. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the point where we're going to request your support and proposals to adopt the annual report of the 2024-2025 financial year. If I can kindly have two stakeholders that are attending right here this afternoon, one to propose and one to support the adoption of the Sasseta 2024-2025 annual report. You will kindly just indicate your name, surname, and the company that you are proposing, and whether you are supporting the adoption. Thank you, sir. I see your hand. The roving mic.
Thank you very much again. I'm proposing for the adoption of this annual report for 2024-25. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Can we have a supporter?
Thank you, everybody in the meeting. My name is Eric from Lesedi Security. Adopted.
Thank you so much. Can we have a round of applause for that? Thank you so much for your engagements and your support. At this point in time, I'm going to call on Ms. Kuti Twandlana, the Sasseta board member, to do closing remarks and closure of the proceedings. And as she's ascending to the stage, there's a cell phone that was misplaced. I have it with me. So after the session, if you're the owner or you've lost a cell phone, please get in touch with me. Thank you.
To the gentleman who was asking Sasseta to assist military veterans, I want to rest assure you that I am a military veteran, and what Ms. Ahmad said is true. We are getting assistance from Sasseta. We've just actually started. It's just about 50 learners that we got from Sasseta, and they're doing national key points. And I do hope that the stakeholders who are here are going to be able to absorb those military veterans and their beneficiaries when they complete their course. Thank you. Chairperson, esteemed members of previous board and former CEO, members of the current board, chairperson of ARC, chamber members, executive management team, distinguished guests, DHET reps, valued stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say all protocol duly and respectfully observed. It is my honor to deliver the closing remarks and extend the formal vote of thanks on behalf of the board of Sasseta. We have concluded a productive and insightful annual general meeting. I'm sure you'll agree with me. The fact that the beneficiaries were here to testify. So we all know that good work has been done thanks to Sasseta and the board that was there before us. This demonstrates maturity, accountability, and commitment with which Sasseta continues to carry out its mandate within the skills development landscape. Today's deliberations have reinforced a shared understanding that collaboration, ethical leadership, and decisive execution are fundamental to our success. We extend our sincere appreciation to the previous board and the former CEO for laying an exceptional foundation. For Sasseta to pride themselves with clean audits for a couple of years, it is not the work that we are doing now, but it is the work that was done by the people before us. Their diligence, strategic foresight, and commitment contributed immensely to the stability and performance of the organization. It is upon this solid groundwork that we continue to build, advancing Sasseta's mission with clarity, purpose, and confidence. And to the acting CEO and the entire Sasseta staff, thank you for the relentless work, technical competency, and unwavering dedication to service excellence. Your professionalism, focus, and operational discipline have ensured continued alignment with the national skills development priorities. We recognize and appreciate the critical role each one of you plays in Sasseta's achievement. A sincere word of thanks goes to our valued partners across government, organized labor, employer bodies, training providers, regulatory institutions, and all stakeholders. Your collaboration enriches our strategic direction and strengthens our capacity to deliver meaningful and impactful interventions. We look forward to deepening these partnerships as we enter a new cycle of growth and transformation. And to my fellow board members, thank you for your steadfast leadership, prudent oversight, and the professionalism you've consistently displayed. May our collective contributions continue to reflect unity, strong governance, accountability, and an unwavering commitment to transformation and excellence. And a special word of thanks is extended to the Sasseta team, whose dedication and hard work made today's AGM proceedings possible. Your meticulous preparation and commitment ensured the seamless execution of this important event. I will not forget the band. Thank you very much. And thanks to the beneficiaries who shared their stories. As we formally conclude today's AGM, let me reaffirm that Sasseta remains resolute in its commitment to driving impactful skills development, strengthening strategic partnerships, and upholding the highest governance as prescribed by the Public Management Finance Act and all related regulatory frameworks. We move forward with renewed focus, leveraging our institutional strengths to build continuity, enhance performance, and sustain progress that has positioned Sasseta as a capable and responsible institution. I must also mention that it is very heartwarming to hear that Sasseta is deep-rooted when it comes to rural area development, because we all know that a lot of people end up leaving their areas because of opportunities that are not there in the rural areas. So if Sasseta is assisting in the rural areas, then we know that at least we are going to have a developed country and food security is not going to be a problem. I encourage all stakeholders to remain engaged, to collaborate with us, and to work alongside the new board as we work to maintain and exceed the high standards set before us. Together, we will continue to advance innovation, operational efficiency, and meaningful sectoral impact. I like the impact because obviously when people get trained, they need to be placed somewhere. There must be jobs that are created. People can't just be trained forever and not be placed. So I'm happy that Sasseta is actually taking that seriously and making it their business to ensure that those who go through training do get placed. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the success of today's proceedings. Your participation, insights, and continued support are deeply appreciated. And a special thanks to our program director. Thank you very much. I hereby declare the annual general meeting of Sasseta of 2025 formally closed. And those who are traveling, travel safely. And those who are remaining, be safe. And may God be with all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Board Member Twandlana. Indeed, we've come to the end of the program. I'd like to appreciate our board and executives for the opportunity to program direct this wonderful event today, and to everyone who is here for cooperating and being so supportive and being a good audience. And those that are attending virtually, thank you for staying and being part of this wonderful occasion. Our band, one last hot one last Limpopian one. Thank you so much. And after the band, then lunch will be served just at the back. Thank you so much. A round of applause.
Semindawonye, akukho mehluko kulelizwe. Awulama kamandela, thina sinavoti, silale mikukwini. Akukho mehluko kulelizwe. Awulama kamandela. Bakhona abanye abakithi abasibona sesikhululekile, kodwa mshesha phansi uthi nothethuru. Bakhona abanye abakithi abasibona sesikhululekile, kodwa mshesha phansi uthi nothethuru. Ay, 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 nothethuru. Bakhona abanye abakithi abasibona sesikhululekile, kodwa mshesha phansi